What makes him so good in your opinion, Mike? Why does he beat everybody in your opinion?
His attitude. You know, he was a little heavy, fat kid and stuff like that, and he wanted to prove himself to the world.
Does he beat Canelo in your opinion?
I think he beats everybody he gets in the ring with. Could beat everybody. My money's with Benavidez until he gets beat. And then if he gets beat, I'm still with him.
Would you ever entertain a fight with the Mexican monster, David Benavidez? But you on Canelo. But you on Canelo.
You gotta understand, like.
But I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know.
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. You know what I mean? His brother was big when I fought him. But, you know what I mean? Benavidez is a big dude. You know what I mean? Like, Benavidez is like 6 foot something. You know what I mean? Then he gonna come in 190 or 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude. Like, you know what I mean?
And he's skilled, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
That's war. This is a good fight. You know, I saw Plant win the early rounds, and Benavidez definitely won the later rounds.
You believe he deserves to fight versus Canelo next?
Yeah, I mean, I thought hard. David Benavidez is a beast. He showed a lot of heart. I mean, people can't question his heart. He didn't lay down. He came to fight, and I respect him.
But I can say, hey, get a new trainer. You'll do better. A new trainer will teach you different tricks. Will imagine him getting one of the best trainers out there in the world, like a Ronnie Shields, who's going to teach you footwork.
Like you said,
it would never happen. Trust me. Canelo knows that David Benavidez will knock him out.
Turkey can't make it happen.
Canelo will never do it.
Every pro knows it. David Benavidez is unbeaten. 29 fights, 29 wins, 24 knockouts. Not a single loss on his record. His speed, his pressure, his volume. No wonder they call him the Mexican monster. Nobody's walked through him, and nobody ever will.
You can be a really good fighter. Both hands. Yeah. You could be all-time great. You make this great. Yeah. That's the hand. Because that's going to open up these other hands. Okay. It's going to make it easier. Anything you do here, that blinds you. You're blinded. Bing. Yeah. Here, bing. I'm off to the side. You got to turn your head. I get off, or I can.
But listen to what Oscar De La Hoya had to say about Canelo facing that kind of power. Oscar's not just warning, he's praising. He said David Benavidez is the world's best super middleweight, a complete monster no one wants to touch. That's not hype, that's respect from a Hall of Famer. Canelo knows deep down David's power is different. It breaks champions.
Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared.
And Oscar didn't stop there. He took it even further, clowning Canelo for even thinking about stepping in with Benavidez. Oscar didn't sugarcoat it. He flat out laughed at Canelo. When a legend like De La Hoya says Benavidez would knock him clean out, that's gospel. David's been dismantling everyone. Uzcategui, Plant, Andrade. Relentless pressure, blistering combinations. Canelo's smart. He knows facing Benavidez means career-ending punishment.
The Mexican monster said he wants to fight him at 175, Canelo, and he would stay in front of him, like you said.
It would never happen, trust me. Canelo knows that David Benavidez will knock him out.
That's the Mexican monster talking. Fearless, hungry, ready for war. Benavidez isn't just calling for a fight, he's promising destruction. While Canelo hesitates, David's embracing the storm. This is the mentality of a future all-time great, not a pretender.
So I'm expecting this man to come 100% ready for this fight. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not scared of nothing. You know, I accept and I invite war. You know, so if that's what the people of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia want to see, well, let's give it to them.
Even Crawford couldn't ignore how Canelo's been ducking. David Crawford exposed it. Canelo's excuse doesn't add up. He's fought others who disrespected him, but not Benavidez. Why? Because David isn't just talk, he's danger. Every punch, every round, the monster breaks you down. Canelo knows that truth, and so does Crawford.
Talking about how he didn't want to give David Benavidez the fight because he was being disrespectful.
When you look at the history of Canelo, all the fighters that was disrespectful, calling them out, and he fought all of them. But I just think from a Mexican standpoint, one Ben.
Oscar called it straight, outpricing is just ducking in disguise. He exposed the old boxing trick that kills fights before they start. Fans want Benavidez versus Canelo, and legends like Oscar demand it too. No excuses left.
Yeah, that's just another way to say I don't want to fight him. That's the bottom line. That's basically it. I don't want to fight him. So you throw out a number. I mean, it's classic from boxing 101. If you don't want to fight somebody, just outbid yourself, outprice yourself. I don't think it's fair.
David's frustration was real. He's tired of waiting, tired of begging. To him, Canelo will never give the opportunity willingly. The only path left is proving himself, taking chances and forcing the world to acknowledge him as the true Mexican warrior.
That was my play. But honestly, I don't know about Canelo. I'm tired of talking about Canelo. I don't think he's ever going to give me an opportunity. He's never going to give me the fight.
I don't think so either, unless Bivol gives you an opportunity to scrap him, beats him, and then you become the great Mexican.
And David doubled down on his anger. David snapped, boxing isn't about easy paychecks, it's about giving fans wars they deserve. He demanded action, not excuses, promising to go down and fight. His message was clear. Enough talk, let's fight. Give people what they paid for, and crown the best.
I'm sick of seeing fighters getting the easiest fights just because they're getting the biggest paychecks. Like it don't. At the end of the day, it's not even about money. It's about giving the fans of boxing the fights that they deserve. They're paying the money at the end of the day, so fuck, let's go to war. Let's do what these people want to see us do, and let's go to war and may the best man win.
Greg called it pointless, arguing Crawford doesn't need Benavidez, and forcing David back to 168 is unrealistic. With Benavidez settling at 175, the timing feels wrong. To him, the hype is new, but the fight doesn't truly fit.
Try to test his limits, and they think the money is going to keep getting him out there. That fight is pointless. The fight is pointless because nobody ever talked about that fight until now. And then I don't feel like Bud needs a Benavidez. And then that would mean Benavidez would have to go into a different body and bring himself back down to 68 when he's already getting settled in at.
Coach Bredman kept it real. Benavidez is no Canelo. Height, reach, stamina, downhill pressure, all stacked against Crawford. What Bud used on Canelo won't work here. The only real question, can Benavidez even make 168 without draining himself? That's the only doubt left.
Then at 60, there's no big names at 60. 68, maybe the Benavidez fight. That's a tough fight for Bud, I ain't gonna lie, that's a tough fight. Benavidez ain't no joke. Yeah, that's a tough fight. I don't know if Bud can overcome that. That's different, that's a lot. That's a lot to overcome. Height, reach, the speed of Benavidez coming downhill, the stamina, because this a guy that does get stronger as the fight goes also. So some of the advantages he had over Canelo, he wouldn't have at Benavidez. I think it would be a question if Benavidez can make the weight.
And then came Gareth Davies, praising Crawford's greatness. Gareth Davies didn't hesitate, calling Crawford an all-time great after dismantling Canelo. The poise, the precision, the control left Canelo showboating out of frustration, powerless to respond. That night, Crawford didn't just win, he stamped his name into boxing history forever.
Yeah, he's become, there's an argument that he becomes an all-time great with that performance, like you say, because the majesty, the poise, the presence all week, just the pinpoint accuracy of everything he did in there, to the fact that in the end Canelo was frustrated and knew he couldn't do anything to Crawford, and he started
visibly frustrated, wasn't it?
No, visibly frustrated, that he started to do a weird kind of showboating because he didn't have any answers for what was happening and unfolding in front of him. I think Terence Crawford has rubber-stamped himself as an all-time great tonight.
Jose Benavidez Sr. made it clear, Crawford may be pound-for-pound king, but David is simply too big, too relentless, and too powerful. At 38, Bud wouldn't survive the non-stop pressure and vicious output of the Mexican monster. Respect to Crawford's greatness, but size, youth, and hunger make David an unstoppable force. Against him, it's not just a fight, it's a storm.
You know, I think David's too big for Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford will be like 38 years old, you know? I mean, it will not be the same as Canelo, man. We know David comes in and throws a lot of punches and put the pressure. And no disrespect to Terence Crawford, he's the best pound for pound. He's in the books to do history. He did something that nobody could do. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the Mexican monster, you know? David's young, strong.
At this point, there's no doubt left. David Benavidez isn't just another contender. He's the man every fighter fears. From legends like Oscar De La Hoya to analysts worldwide, everyone agrees that his speed, size, and pressure make him the true Mexican monster. He's the fighter who doesn't chase money, he chases legacy, demanding the wars fans deserve. While Canelo sidesteps and Crawford is praised, David's shadow looms larger than all, forcing the boxing world to acknowledge him as the next great. The question is simple: who has the courage to step in with Benavidez? Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more fight breakdowns, and stay tuned because this story is only getting bigger.